Welcome to the V1 rocket launching site in Bois de Huit, Hazebrouck. I wish I could speak French. What you see in front of me is concrete that used to hold track to move V1s around this site. Well, it's not a usual poured concrete like they do on the Atlantic Wall. It's basically breeze block. This building here is one of the storage depots, or whatever you want to call it. It could store up to 10 V1s without the wings on. It's curved at the end like that because they didn't. If it was a bomb blast, it hit very, very close by. At least it basically would sort of nullify it. When the British saw this when they first saw it, they thought it was a ski. It looks like a ski on the side. So the very first V1 launch pads or V1 areas like this were called ski sites. Well, I've just climbed through a window, lo and behold, it's open at the end anyway. Silly me. Looks like another one up already, yeah. Now they're blocked up at one end. Now I'm wondering if they were actually blocked up. If the Germans did it, I don't know, to be honest with you. But it's definitely blocked up. But they're both, what I've seen so far, are both blocked. I wonder how much camouflage they actually had when they were in operation. I mean, obviously the Germans are going to put them into woods like this for safekeeping, really, so that people wouldn't, I should say, Allied bombers wouldn't see this. Right, the authorities have obviously blocked that off for whatever reason that is. The other one's open. What's down there? Nothing really. Ah, there are things on the wall. I think they're bats. I think they're bats. Look. I think they will be. Another one. I think they're using them for bats. Looking at the little cage on the wall on the second one, that's a bat cage. So I can see why they don't want you to go inside. It's getting a bit dark now. Now there's actually blast walls down here somewhere that had a ramp between them that they could launch the V1s from. When I find it, I'll give you a bit of a rundown of what the V1 was all about. We're building there. I'm not sure what that is. There's no sign to tell me what's going on there, so it could be anything. Could be for storage, could be for storing the wings. This is possibly a munitions store. I don't think it's personnel because there's no chimney stack. Again, for bats. It was a storage facility for water. Now I think they used steam for powering the V1s from 0 to something like 300 mile an hour, 400 mile an hour over a period of about 50 metres, 60 metres, something like that. So this is, and they also washed the tracks down as well with it. But that looks as well, that's probably that building. These one sites, V2s, V3s, came in 1944-45. Hitler was basically losing the war. He thought the vengeance weapons would be perfect for him to attack London and other places to try and demoralise us. But grandiose ideas like that didn't work, but it leaves stuff like this. That's fascinating to people like me who like looking at stuff like this. Apparently this is a V1 assembly site. They put together the V1s in this building without the wings, and then once it was all assembled, they would bring it out, take it to the launch ramps, put the wings on and set it off for firing towards London and the south coast of England. This building is where they sorted the fuel out to project the V1 off the launch pad, saying it's a sophisticated system to evacuate fluids. It included 3 rooms, one for washing the catapult, steam boiler with large quantities of water. With each launch, the purpose of this was to eliminate all residual chemical products used in the operation. Hydrogen peroxide they used. Potassium permanganate. The steam boiler placed on a cart was attached to the base of the ramp at the moment of launching. One housing compressor for high pressure water hose to clean the boiler and around the ramp. One used for pressurising the compressed air spheres loaded on the V1 and enabled functioning of its guidance instruments. This is what this is. Once everything was assembled, ready for firing, it was brought to this building here. Now these look like firewalls, these, to contain everything within that area. The purpose of these walls was to stop debris flying up into the machine itself and ruining it. Hence the reason why these walls are. It had a metal ramp, 48 metres, at 6 degrees tilt. Apparently over that way is London. That's the way it's pointing. That little launch bunker there did all the commands regarding setting off the V1. So in other words, everything was sorted from this little bunker here in order to launch that V1 towards London. It's very overgrown, but this is where the metal ramp would have been along here. So it pointed that way, 6 degrees, 48 metres. It reaches something like, I think, 0 to nearly 400 mile an hour within 50 metres in length. That's a heck of a speed, that. Wow. Oops, if you've seen any other videos, you know what they're for. Camouflage.
The V1 flying bomb, or vengeance weapon, was nicknamed the Buzz Bomb or Doodlebug by the Allies due to its pulse jet engine distinctive sound. In Germany it was also known as the Kirschken, which is cherry stone. The V1 was an early cruise missile constructed with a sheet metal body, plywood wings, and the only production aircraft to use a pulse jet for power. The V1 was designed for terror bombing of London. It was developed at Peenemünde Army Research Centre in Germany in 1939 by the Luftwaffe. During the Second World War, thousands of V1 missiles launched into England were fired from launch facilities along the Pas-de-Calais area. The first V1 was launched at London on the 13th of June 1944, just 1 week after the D-Day landings. At peak, more than 100 V1s a day were fired at South East England, 9,521 in total. Decreasing in numbers as sites were overrun, until October 1944 when the last V1 site in range of Britain was overrun by Allied forces.
If you do come to have a look at this site, it's not hidden. It's you don't have to sneak onto thing. Basically you can walk round. There's lots of signs in different languages, in Dutch, in German, French and English, so you can have a look at what's here. Gives you a bit of an insight into obviously how the Germans developed this V1 and then go on to the V2, which was, both were quite successful actually, unfortunately. The V3 rocket, or the London gun, never fired in anger. This area has Lac Pol, it also has Mimoyek, sorry, that's the V3. It has 3 in this area, Lac Pol, Mimoyek and Epilurk, I think it's pronounced. All 3 of them, V2 and V3 launch sites were never in action. The Allies to come out in what they call Operation Crossbow, which was specifically aimed at finding these vengeance sites and destroying them. Well, I hope you like my little video of the V1 rocket launching site in Bois de Huit near Hazebrouck, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video, whatever it may be. See you later.